Hello, 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 and welcome once again to the Real News Talk Show. My topic right now is about R. Kelly. R. Kelly, as we all know, is still incarcerated in Illinois. He's in the Illinois jail right now, and today his attorneys asked them to let him out because they said he is very, very ill. Of course, they would say anything to let him out because of the fact that R. Kelly is just not used to being locked up. He's used to having his way. And the attorney, Greenberg, said he was very ill, that he had numbness in his hands, he had anxiety. Well, we all know people out here have anxiety, and especially if you're locked up, anyone, not just R. Kelly, but most people have anxiety in jail or even in prison, and that he has a hernia that needs to be repaired. Now, on the hernia, if that is the case, he definitely needs to have that repaired because that can cause a what you call it, an intestines problem, a bowel. It can make a bowel obstruction, which means if he don't get that hernia taken care of, if it's in his stomach area, that can cause a bowel obstruction, and he would possibly have to wear a coloscopy if it is indeed in that area. Sometimes hernias in other areas, but oftentimes they cause bowel obstructions if they're in the stomach area, and it can be in the lower or the top of the lower or the small or the large bowel. It said that this was in the New York. This is what they was asking the New York department. Also, they said that he's only allowed one visitor on his books, and even though he have two women, but only one of them can go and visit him, and it takes like 90 days before he can actually suggest for the other one to come. And I know that's very frustrating because it seems that those girls really, really are in love with him, or they're infatuated by his fame, and we'll see how long that lasts. So only one of them, and they didn't say which one. All they said is one of the girls can visit him, and then after 90 days, he can switch and put the other one on there. But 90 days, you guys, that's like 3 months. Oh my God, it's something else. And so they were saying none of his friends or colleagues could go and visit him, and that isn't right. Well, R. Kelly is in jail this time for crimes that he did from way back after that movie, that documentary, Surviving R. Kelly. And as I said before, and I'm going to say it again, a lot of the parents were at fault just as well because they said that R. Kelly had paid that little girl that he raped, paid the parents off because remember a long time ago he got acquitted of that, but someone was paid off and they said it was the parents. So they need to start looking into a lot of other things other than just R. Kelly. All of this stuff is coming out, all of the pedophiles, all of the rapists, and so forth and so on, and the sex trafficking. This stuff has been going on for a long, long time. Just like with Epstein, Bill Cosby, it's just bad. It's just really, really sad. People that's what this world is, seems like it's all about, wrongdoing and hurting people. And so that little girl parents, they said was paid off. So see, when he go to court, all of this stuff is going to come up, and they possibly will go after those parents because if you took your child for the love of money to a grown-ass man, then you need to be paying and sitting in jail just like R. Kelly. And it's a whole lot of aiders, and they're going to get into all of that. But I think R. Kelly is gone for life. And he needs to just go ahead and get institutionalized, make himself comfortable, because he's going to be there for a long, long time, if not life. Because they're really serious about keeping R. Kelly. They really are. And I wonder how long those women, because I understand, at least I heard it online, that those women are in that Trump Tower building until the end of December or the 1st of January or something, that it was paid up their rent. So I'm wondering, what are they going to do? Because RKelly is gone. RKelly is through. RKelly is through for the things he did wrong. RKelly is finished for the wrong that people did him. You see, because there were a lot of women that came after him because he was a celebrity. They knew he was a sex freak, and they went for it, and then they came back and kicked him in his butt because he was too stupid to know how to keep his butt clean, not mess with kids, not pay anybody for sex because it's a child. RKelly, he just never grew up. Because remember, they said that his sister had molested him and his brother. So he never grew up himself, and he must have really thought this stuff was normal. He had to. No money and no power, but only an ignorant person would think that their money can buy these little young kids, and then they don't have to pay for that later. That stuff comes back and bites you in the butt. I don't care if it's just rape. I don't care if you kill somebody. I don't care what you do. That stuff will come back and bite you in the butt if it's not right. And RKelly has a lot to pay for. And also the people that went after RKelly, they have to pay too, because there are a lot of older women went after him just to set him up. You know, a lot of men get set up too, you guys. I'm not just going to be down on RKelly all by himself, because a lot of women set men up just like that. They will take their kids for the love of money. It's the root of all evil. There are plenty mothers that will sell their kids for sex. So, like I said, he's paying for the ones that he actually committed it on his own. He's paying for the ones that the mothers took to him. He's paying for the ones that set him up to pay them. He's paying all around the box for being stupid. Being stupid. Maybe this is a wake-up call for all the other guys out there that have all this money and they think that they can buy these little girls, and just because they're cute and little girls, they need to deal with someone on their own mental level, because these little girls, they're just babies trying to grow in life and long for themselves. Let kids be kids. Let them make their decisions of growing up into womanhood naturally without an older man taking their womanhood away from them. It's not right. It is not right. And I used to be able to say, before this world have gotten really crazy, I used to be able to say, well, how would a man like if somebody did their daughter like that? How would a man like it if someone hurt their child like that? Well, nowadays, some of these fathers are hurting their own kids and raping their own children. It has gotten so bad, you can't even say that anymore. What's really going on? If you Google up all this stuff, you see all this stuff online where a father raped a daughter, or a father raped a stepdaughter, or a father let another friend rape his daughter, or he hurt his baby, or he abused. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It used to be where you could say that father of that child will almost want to kill him for molesting his child. You can't hardly say that anymore. Now I see those girls, Jocelyn Savage, father, and Azra Clary, parents, they want their kids back. They want their kids back. But because of the fact it was something that went wrong in that home, that kid slipped away, and their minds wasn't strong enough to know that RKelly was a pedophile. My mother always said charity starts at home. You got to really put it into your kids, and if everything is going right at home, they have no other reason to run away. They have no other reason. They would honor and obey their parents like I did to the day my parents died and I was grown. If my mother told me something and I was in California and she was in Texas, I listened to her because of what was put into me as a child. And I knew that she was telling me what was right, because everything she told me worked for my good. So there was something that went wrong, or possibly it could have been the younger generation. You know, maybe our parents was young and they probably didn't know this stuff, But I still can't say that because common sense is common sense, and a mother instinct, God gives you that to teach your kid what's right from wrong. Because my mother was an only child and had 8 kids, and she knew what to do. And she didn't have no sisters and brothers to bounce off of like I did because she had 8 of us. I'm the 7th sibling. We had each other to bounce off of and ask questions, and she had none of that. But she still was a mother that had a lot of damn common sense and taught us right from wrong and about these pedophiles, rapists, how to be ladies, how to dress in front of some of them, how to stand up and respect yourself so that you can demand that respect. But if you go to an older man looking and seeking money, or your parents take you there, it's because something was not right at home that sent you to that man. Even though the parents may have taken him to them, like, say for instance, those young girls that RKelly is, in jail for, even if their parents had taken them to him, he still should not have molested them. That was on him because it was still a child. Matter of fact, a real man that knows how to protect himself from going to jail or getting himself in the predicament that RKelly's in, they would call the cops and say, look, these people are trying to bribe me out of my money. They're bringing me their daughter, and she's underage, and I don't want no stuff because I'm a celebrity, and I don't want that on me. They need to be arrested for bringing their daughter to me and trying to bribe me out of money. But if you're a pedophile and you're a rapist, that's why you're in jail. That is why you are in jail, because it was that grown-ass man that had the right to not molest a child. And just because he was molested don't mean he had to go and molest no one else, because his brother said he was molested too and he didn't do nothing like that. But I think they had different fathers. See, people think different. You got all kinds of people in this world and everybody's thinking all kind of crazy stuff. But like I said, if they were raised right, and if they would have told their mother when they were being molested by their only sister, then all of that stuff she would have probably taught him how not to be a molester. But they didn't tell. And the brother said RKelly wanted that to happen. So my heart goes out to the young girls. The ones that innocently was molested by him. The older ones that went to him and set him up, then they will have to pay just like RKelly one day. Because if you do wrong, you got to pay. I don't care which way it was. If it was wrong and you went there to set up a man and you're older and you knew the situation, like someone said, I knew the situation when I went in there. If you knew RKelly was mean, why would you go and be with him? And then now you're going to turn around and sue him? See, this stuff, you have to look at it on both sides of the fence. The older ones that knew what they were doing, they're going to have to pay for setting him up. The younger ones that he molested, he's paying now for what he did to them. And see, that's how it goes. You cannot escape. When you do wrong, you got to pay. So back to RKelly being sick in jail. Like I said, most people in jail have anxiety. Most people out here have anxiety because in the society now, everybody that works every day have a lot of stress on them, trying to pay their bills, trying to take care of their kids, trying to cook, trying to go to work. Anxiety sets upon many of us out here. So I don't think the judge is going to buy that and let him go because of anxiety. Okay? And numbness in the hands, I don't think they're going to let him go for that either. You know why? Because they're going to say he don't even have to use his hands. He's in jail. He don't have nothing to do but just sit around and pray. That's what he need to be doing. And then they said that that hernia is that hernia. And they said something about he was just really, really distraught and being kind of like away from people, and he has visits restricted. Like I said, the only thing that they may have to call attention to is that hernia, because if that hernia is in his abdominal area and it causes a bowel obstruction, then they're going to say R. Kelly didn't get the proper medical help that he deserves. And he deserves that medical help. Even though he did his crime, he got to do his time. But when it comes to illness, something such as a hernia, that's pretty serious. So if indeed they have done like a CAT scan or something and they saw that, then that needs to be addressed, because the attorneys can come back if something happens later, or R. Kelly dies from the hernia or something like that, then they're going to come back and sue the jail system. So the visits being restricted, one person at a time, and then he can change it in 30 days, and he can't have no other visitors. So he feels totally isolated. Well, he's been in there for a while now. Like I said, he needs to just kick back and get institutionalized, because what it is with him, the reason R. Kelly is getting sick is because he's fighting it. He's fighting it. He's used to the big world. He's used to the money. He's missing his girls. He's missing his sex. Remember that? He's a sex freak. R. Kelly's missing his sex. And I love R. Kelly's music. Backyard Party. You remember that one? I love his music. But it was just too much wrong that he did to these kids. And it all came out. But a lot of those people did lie on surviving R. Kelly. A lot of them lied. A lot of those people lied. Like the one girl that stalked him at the courthouse, and she went and saw R. Kelly. If you knew he was a pedophile, why would you even go? And you underage. So see, that was a setup. And then she's one of the people that's suing him now. But you went and stalked him because you wanted to be there for him. So people that went there knowing what they were doing to set him up, that's different than him raping these little girls. It's two different things going on here. So I'm going to end my show, and you can let me know what you think. That's just my own personal opinion. I'm just going to be flat out and honest with you. R. Kelly was molested. He never grew up. He never got any help. Parents brought these little girls to him, and they were paid. Like that little girl that they say he peed on or whatever, urinated on rather. I'll put in a better word, urinated on. And he won that case. Well, I heard that he had paid off her parents. You see what I'm saying? So anytime you're a celebrity and you put yourself in those positions, what do you expect? You can have all the money in the world, but you won't have it too long if you open up to all of the world and the people that's bringing kids and sex. It's called sex trafficking. People are selling their children to these older men. So some of that stuff, those people set him up, and he didn't have to do it after they set him up. Like I said, he could have called the cops on him. They bringing a child to me, and I know they're trying to set me up. He should have used his common sense on that. But men are, I'm not going to say silly, but some of them just don't think. Some of them just don't think. And women, a lot of women know they don't think. Women think when men are sleeping. That's why they call women cat women. Cat women. And some men just be green as heck, because R. Kelly, he should have got out of Chicago. He stayed around, and the people that he was selecting, I was like, oh my God, he could have done better than that. Them people look, oh, wow, some of them. Teeth messed up, hair jacked up, skin jacked up, just look like who done it and why come, and what was he doing with them? So that means he wanted control. Anytime you want to feel big and someone else is not on your level and you want to keep them squashed down, that's because you just want to use them for sex, evidently. But now the last two girls, I noticed that a change on their look. They look different after a while, like he was putting a little money on them, you know. But they look like they got a few little miles on them already, because they're too young to kind of look like they look. They're too young. They should still have a little girl kind of look about them. They're not no old women. But because they've been under with an old man, my mother always said an old man can make you look old too, you know, just by being around them all the time and doing what they say and Because older people get set in their ways, and R. Kelly was definitely set in his ways, from what I understand. And like I said again, some of the women set him up, but when it came to molesting those children, that's where he made his mistake at. He didn't have grounds to stand on with that. So you guys, please click like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be coming back with some more. Share the word, pass it to a friend. I'm trying to get my subscribers up so that I can keep coming with more, you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.